Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Future Friday, we're gonna talk about world's oil addiction. So let's dive deep into it. Now, before we go on to the current addiction that we have to understand the context of it. So context is that local use of oil, local simply meaning you extract it here, you use it in this area, was ancient, meaning like there are some museum pieces that are hundreds of years old, and we were using it for lighting things. Some scenarios we were using it as a like peach, tar and roof ceiling binding things. We were using it. Basically, it was not a new thing to us. We were using it. However, the modern use, basically, oh, this is crude oil. We can extract multiple liquids out of it, and each of those liquid would be useful to us. That's a modern trend. Now, this puppy was discovered in late 1800s, meaning around 1870 and something like that. And the first fuel that we extracted was kerosene. Basically, back then, this is how it looked like, very early on. And the oil wells at that time was very surface level, like a bore well level deep. So super easy to do. So we did that. So around 1870s, 1880s, fuel is a thing that we understand. Like there is something known as crude oil, we extract it, we do things to it, and then we get useful liquid out of it. That part is sorted. Okay, then we have this god level gentleman, which is Rudolf Diesel. Surprisingly intelligent, like horrifyingly, scaringly intelligent. He develops an engine, and that engine is known as diesel engine. Now here's deal. When he was alive, we have not figured out, even though crude oil was sorted, we had not figured out a way to distill diesel out of it. There was products out of it, but we had no use for it. When he built his engine, then what the hell he was using? Vegetable oil. The guy was very smart, way ahead of his curve. And the idea was that if a farmer is running an engine on things that he himself is growing, he will be independent. Wise man. Like way early of its time, like a 1896, that's the time when he built his first engine, and after that multiple clones and copies were made, and they were actually starting to become successful and slowly started to replace steam engine for the world's load. Now what does that load mean here? Big things, cruise ships, warships, locomotives, big things like factory engines and all that. Not for small things. It took quite some time to miniaturize that puppy, but early days it was big puppies and long lasting reliable engines. It worked. It took them some time to figure things out, but they have figured it out, and we have Rudolf Diesel to thank for him. And then this happens in 1896. The train starts from there. Then you have Henry Ford in 1908. He figures out making mass production. Now, benefit of this is the first time, because of this car mass production, that engines like internal combustion engine becomes something for everybody. Rudolf Diesel have already made combustion engine. That's just not for everybody. That's more of like, oh, I go to a factory has that. Or I go to a locomotive shed, it has that. Or I go to a pumping station, it has that. That's it. Like it's so far away from common public. This Rudolf Diesel's invention makes it everyday thing, meaning, oh, you go to place, you have it. Oh, you come to your house, you have a garage, you have a car. That car has petrol engine into it. Early days, there was no petrol, so it was running on ethanol. And again, it took some time to figure out that crude oil actually had all of these puppies. So they used to call it back in that days liquid horsepower, diesel specifically. So Model T happens in 1908. This is the early start of it. And then in 1903, this happens. We get wings. And this time we really need high energy fuel. And thankfully we figured it out. So from these three events, so to say, fuel consumption of this world becomes absolute, meaning we're gonna use it for everything, from running big industries, diesel, running private, personal private stall stuff, petrol, flying, petrol and diesel. So we figured it out very well, and we were hooked. So we went from extracting few thousand barrels of oil to millions and billions of barrels of oil. So this is how old oil is. 1 century, almost 1 century old. So let's understand some scientific context of it. Energy. We are talking about energy. We are just talking about an energy carrier that is easy to do. So we need a lot of energy. Let that be very clear. Back in those days, if you are saying we built a car that travels at like 60 kilometers per hour, people will be like, whoa. Nowadays, we're like, bruh, that's like gear 2. I'm like, give me faster than that. So we need a lot of energy. And our everyday life and every aspect of our life consumes a lot of energy. Now, we have sorted the coal part of our equation. We no longer actually need coal, and more solar, more wind, more interconnects, more closed loop pumped hydro. sorted. The moment you are connected to like a proper wire, we sorted. It's just the damn mobile things meaning anything that is moving, for example road trains, aircraft, cruise ships, container ships, those things. When anything that is mobile, that's where we suck. Like we really suck hard. We have no solution for that. Railway you can bypass, because again, like in case of India has very large electrified network. I think world's largest electrified railway network. So we do not have to worry about like giving power to it. We have wires there. So mobile, that's no longer mobile, but planes still mobile, road trains still mobile, this thing's mobile. So what is the solution? Because that's the weak link. Everything else we can sort out, and we have already sorted out and we are making good progress. But mobile things we cannot even touch. So hydrocarbon is the only solution. Now why hydrocarbon? Hydrocarbon has two components, hydrogen and carbon. Now carbon gives you density, hydrogen gives you energy. What does that mean? Well, this is a graph that you can find in every encyclopedia, you can find in every college and university textbooks. This is what we call volumetric density and galvanometric density. What does this translate to? It translates to megajoule per liters. Be very mindful. If somebody comes to you and talks about like, hey, megajoule per kilogram, it means nothing. For example, this is a jumbo jet, like a world-class jumbo jet used for aviation, military boom aviation. So they need fuel. Now here's the interesting part. The fuel has to be dense because they need payload to have their boom sticks. So they need huge payload capacity. If they do not have huge payload capacity, they're stuck. They're kind of useless. So payload capacity comes from fuel energy density. For example, if I want to give you stupid data, I will tell you liquid hydrogen is very energy rich, as in megajoule per kilogram is 120 megajoule per kilogram. Sounds awesome, but here's the deal, kilogram means nothing, because how are you going to carry 1 kilogram of hydrogen? No, you're going to carry 1 liter of it. Your tank has a physical volume. So you're going to say, hey, my tank is 15 liters. So let's assume the best case scenario. You have liquid hydrogen, the best density state we can achieve safely. Okay, you have LH liquid hydrogen. That puppy only gives you 10 megajoules. Now compare that to normal hydrocarbon, let's say diesel, that's 38. You are getting, even if you have liquid hydrogen and even if you are converting 100% of it, your diesel only has to be around 20% efficient or 25% efficient. It's gonna like which place? Liquid, it's gonna which place? Liquid hydrogen. So people are like, oh, hydrogen is more efficient. It makes no difference. That's the energy gap, because without carbon, hydrogen is pointless. Now let's be realistic. What your car is gonna have? Your car is gonna have hydrogen at 700 bars. At 700 bar, that's even worse. And that's why like planes that flew on liquid hydrogen, and yes, people did try it. Like that's how we know that this matters more than basically megajoule per liter matters more than megajoule per kilogram. Literally, Air Force and Soviet Union, both of them tried. US Air Force and Soviet Union, both of them tried actually making planes. They learned very early on compressed hydrogen will not work. They have to use liquid hydrogen, and they did try that. Here, Boeing is also trying it again with liquid hydrogen, but it did not work out. They built the plane flew, it was just range was lol. So you need 3 things: range, speed, and payload capacity. All 3 would be gone if you touch liquid. Again, energy is not there. Like magically you're gonna pull out energy. Like unless you break the laws of physics, it cannot be done. We know this. Like this is an absolutely known fact. It will a modern technology or this. That's why these numbers matter. That's why, like, because when people say, oh, we are only using 20% or 25% of diesel, let's say in this road train, that's still here. Like you have to use 100% of liquid hydrogen, which you cannot. Jet engine at best is going to give you 50%. Fuel cell, good luck. So that's the reality. And another aspect is standard temperature and pressure uses, meaning when you take diesel, gasoline, jet propellant, all these things are what we call liquid at standard temperature and pressure, meaning you do not need cryogenic sealing, you do not need basically cryocooling, you do not need anything to it. You just like put it in a bottle, forget about it. Of course, seal it so it does not leak fumes, but done. And of course, make it out of steel so it's like physically robust, but nothing else you have to worry about. 350 bars of pressure tanks is so expensive that is used for CNG. But that's so weak energy that hydrogen requires a new technology to be made for 700 bars. That's twice as more complex and expensive. Can it be done? Absolutely. Can it be done cheaply? Hell no. Can it be done effectively in a plane? No, sir. And I'm like, oh, there's another interesting fact. If you ever put liquid hydrogen in that amount in jets, it will not have staying power. What does that mean? That simply means if the plane is stuck in a runway for a few hours, not even a few hours, like 1 or 2 hours, boil off would be like, yeah, let's go, come back and refuel it again. That's why, like, we know for a fact this will not change in 5,000 years ago, 50,000 years in the future. It will not change. The laws of physics, this will not change. Chemistry, physics, fixed, sorted. So, was there any bitch slap with hydrocarbon? Absolutely. Now, in early days, very early days, like while Rudolf Diesel was thinking about like farmers should have independence, he was not thinking in terms of environment. He was not thinking about in carbon footprint. He was thinking like oil company should not have control over someone. In that sort of context, it was not like basically he wanted independence, not like ecosystem stability and all that. So, early days, environmental consequences were not known. We cannot blame our ancestor. They did not knew it. However, even in those early days, foreign control was known. For example, USA learned the hard way, the bitch slap that happened in OPEC. OPEC caused what we call oil embargo. That oil embargo happened, the same thing that you are hearing in the news, is that fourth Arab-Israel war. And yes, Israel literally fought with the Arab world, as in multiple countries, and Israel hold its own. Like, and that is 1973. So, and that's why, like in modern time, you're not seeing other countries just going boom boom on it. Yeah, they know, they learned it the hard way. Israel is really tough. So fourth Arab-Israel war caused that. So OPEC bitch slapped the whole quote unquote Western world with sanctions. And this happened. Basically, entire USA ran out of oil, and it was scary. Like, it was so scary, it affected common people and army and everybody else. So they learned it the hard way. And this itself is bad, but on top of that, around year 2000s, we started to realize global warming may be a thing. By 2010, yeah, it is a thing, it's bad and it's getting out of hand. So this is the bitch slap. Now here's the deal. This is how presidents react. Now you're like, why the heck I'm focusing on American president? Like it or not, they are like the apple of this planet. What does that mean? That simply means if they do something stupid, whole world is gonna copy it. And if they do something nice, hopefully world will copy it. But they do stupid, everybody will copy it. For example, this is around in 1974. We have, at the end of this decade, in year 1980, the United States will not be dependent on any other country for energy needs. Wise sentiment. That time, dependency was 36.1%. Another president comes along. We must reduce oil imports by 1 million barrels per day. Holy damn, that was how high it was. 1 million per day at the end of this year, by 2 million barrels per day by the end of 1977. That was said in 1975. This time dependency more or less the same, 36.1%. And then we have different Jimmy Carter. Beginning in this moment, this nation will never use more foreign oils than we did in 1977. Never. That happened in 1979. That time percentage dependency climbed to 40%. Then we have Reagan. Reagan time it was like same thing, said in 1981. Percentage climbed to 43%. Then we have Bush. Bush time it climbs 1992, climbed to 47.2%. Then you have different guy 1995. Percentage climbed to 49.8%. Then we have George W. Bush, that puppy crossed to 2006 and percentage at 65.5%. And then we have Obama, that is 2009, he makes a statement, and that time dependency is at 66.2%. That should give you a red alert. This is a nation that can put man on the moon. How the heck they could not fix this? And this is a continuous issue, like continuously. It's not like a right or left. It's like so many. And by the way, Trump and current guy have the same issue. They both make the statement, outcome is nothing changes, and I'm pretty sure that 66% is right now around 70%. So this was the biggest bitch slap. And you may be like, they can just go and conquer. Here's the deal. Soldiers are not free. They are very, very, very expensive. And boom devices are very expensive. So if they actually go there and cause boom boom, it will increase the fuel cost, like exponentially. What they want to do is like, hey, can you work according to us? But they have to work. If we have to go there and poof all of them out, that will cost way too much money, and the fuel cost would be exponentially higher. So that's why they just do not go there. They want to control it, but they cannot, like, remove all those people, poof around like 10 to 20 billion people, billion, I'm saying million, and then be like, okay, we're going to take care of it. Yeah, it's not cost effective. And that's why every time they know, like, we have to fix this, they have not managed to fix it. 1974. So this was the bitch slap. It's like they wanted to do it, they could not. Then we come to the ultimate tragedy of it. Aquatic Species Program was created in 1978 by President Jimmy Carter. Now this project was closed in 1996. Now, project was expensive. How expensive? $25 million. Whoa. What is that price, like context of that price? That's exponentially smaller than one B-2 bomber and F-35. That's one F-35, not the project, one F-35. That's free. They literally worked for 20 years and the money spent was free, relatively speaking. Now, what was the research? Research focus was figure out an actual solution that we can actually do and actually solve the problem. So all their mathematics, all the science, almost like a Manhattan project, they went all in with research and development. Outcome was biodiesel from algae was the only viable option. Like, why other things cannot do that? Like, why can't sugar cane do that? Why can't corn can do that? Well, here's the energy source is fixed. It's the sun. Okay. Nutrition and water and oxygen and carbon dioxide, all that is available in that one. That is also fixed. So what is difference between this seaweed and compared to plants? Well, plants have something known as structure, as in something hard, cellular, something that grows and fights against gravity, that fundamentally wastes lipid content. You want lipid. Why? Lipid is hydrocarbon. You want to extract that hydrocarbon. If your lipid content, the cell capacity is wasted on making hard structures, energy is spent on making hard structures, not basically the fuel for you. This puppy can easily give you 20 to 30% fuel per cell. While the big puppies, yeah, good luck with that. Good luck. If you are very lucky, 2% you're gonna get. So algae and microalgae, like seaweed is classified as microalgae. Do not ask me who came up with this name, but it is. And there is no competition. Like, nothing that grows on land, on soil, will ever come close to something that is free floating. Like algae cell is just a cell. No structure needed. A cell wall and all that, but very low gravity fighting structure. This floating does not need structure. So fundamentally, the megajoule coming from the sun, the nutrition extracted from the environment translates to much richer yield for us. This is laws of biology and bottlenecks. It cannot be changed, it cannot be altered unless you change the gravity. So let's that be real. If any Tom, Dick and Harry talks about a plant-based, they're smoking. So, and there is another benefit, they figured it out, that it can also do sequestration of CO2. Like how? Well, here's the deal. Let's assume we start to grow seaweed biofuels at large volumes, like hundreds of hectares, hundreds and thousands, and then keep growing it. Here's the deal. Do not stop. Even if world's energy needs are met, you keep growing them. What happens after that? You're making hydrocarbon. What do? You cook it. So you remove as much hydrogen as you can, and then it becomes as thick hydrocarbon as possible. What do you do after that? Bury it back. Done. Problem solved. Bury it back. Literally make crude oil, bury it back. Undo. Basically control Z. Who is providing the energy? Sun. Who is providing the water? Sea. Fun fact, we do not have shortage of those two things. So this was sorted out very early on. Now, they closed the research a bit early, I think, in 1996. The final paper was published in 1998. And that time, the mathematics was very clear that if they actually tried to do it, like they go all into microalgae, the output would be twice as expensive. Meaning, and this term you must have been seen again and again. Everybody keeps referencing this half statement, is that it will be twice as expensive. Will it be true? Yes. Against 1998 petrol level, for example, their logic was, calculation was that if we try it, the optimistic scenario is if $15 per barrel is our aim, we're gonna be at 30. So the oil cost from OPEC must exceed $30 per barrel to try to give it a shot. Now here's the deal. This was in 1998. What happened then? Oil crash. Price of oil dropped exponentially, and due to budget stupidity and the fact that no country saw the fact they were so close to independence, they were like, let's close this project. So what's the oil barrel price today? 83. Let that sink in. We had the technology to make, let's be unoptimistic, let's say $40 per barrel. And be mindful, it will go down, because again, the more we do farming, the better we do. It's like same way solar panels became cheaper, this will become cheaper. It's not a fixed resource. You have infinite surface area, infinite as in like large enough surface area, that's not an issue. Sunlight is not taxed. You do not have to worry about it. You can keep, and again, as strains, they were experimenting with a lot of strains. Around 3,000 experimental strains were made, and they like narrowed it down to 50, which has like ludicrously high lipid content. Some as high as like 50 to 60% lipid content. So 83, We could, even if we are only hitting 50, this still would be cheaper. Still would be cheaper. Like this was in 1998, and this detail, that 1998 level, somehow everybody removes that from detail. It's like, if we try this today, it actually would be cheaper. Now, why the heck private companies don't do it? It will take time. Like if they had actually said, okay, we're just gonna do this, we're gonna make sure the project never dies and make sure we have all the tooling we need to do this. Because can we do it today? Yes, but the toolings are not mass produced. Like farming requires tooling to do it efficiently. We don't have the tooling. So if they have done that, now the prices would have started dropping, and this would have forced OPEC to keep the prices low. Because if OPEC sees, hey, they're going all out, if we increase the price, their prices becomes cheaper. It's like, hey, let's just farm more of it. Then they will, competition. And this is carbon neutral, and you can keep expanding it as much as you want. Now you're like, oh, wouldn't it harm sea? It's natural. It won't harm it. I mean, like, compared to global warming, compare everything to global warming. So it will not. And seaweed, microalgae, can beat every land-based system. I do not think we need to say that, but somehow people are actually stupid enough. They're like, what if we do sugar corn? What if we do corn? And I'm like, no. Oh, and this gives you hydrocarbon, does not give you alcohol. It does not give you OH. It gives you CH. I mean, like that also, alcohol also has C, carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. That's why it burns more efficiently, but has less energy because oxygen is there. This puppy, only hydrogen and oxygen. So this puppy is powerful, as in jet fuel. And do you need to change your vehicles? Hell no. Like it's same hydrocarbon that you're getting out of distillation. Actually, this is purer. It does not have sulfur contamination and mercury contamination, unless you are putting that in there. So flat out, there is no competition. Laws of physics, laws of biology guarantees that. Another aspect, it has no effect on food or water supply. Now, original target was algae. Why? Algae is faster than this, seaweed or microalgae. Who came up with this name? Microalgae. So, algae requires fresh water. The best case scenario was 600 to 800 liters of fresh water per liter of basically oil. Yeah, that's not sustainable. And yes, if you think like, wait a minute, that's very high. How high is the corn based or sugarcane based? Yeah, that's negative. Like we are literally polluting more rather than just directly using crude oil. That's how bad it is, using sugarcane or ethanol based systems. Yes, we have done the calculation, and yes, US government knows this, and yes, some people are trying to stop this madness. So this happened in 1996. So this is the ultimate tragedy. We had a problem, we had a solution. If we had kept at it, we kept chipping away at it, it would have been sorted by now. Same way we sorted solar panels. Solar panel went from 5% efficient to 10% efficient to 15% efficient. At that point, people started to adapt it. Now we are dealing with 25% solar panel efficient. Now we are dealing with some people, it's like, hey, but if you have solar panel plus thermal, more energy efficiency. So this is the tragedy. We had this problem sorted, and everybody is only focusing on price will be 2x. It's like, against 1998, price would be cheaper right now. And again, this will also give you independence. So in case of India, India won't be like, OPEC, can you please produce more so we get cheaper? No. OPEC is like, lol, F you. Russia can go, lol, F you. If we have this, we have more than enough sea border. We do not have to worry about it. So that's the tragedy aspect of it. Like, it's genuine tragedy that we had the technology, we researched everything. And again, scientists that are rediscovering this is like, holy damn, we have wasted so many strains that they have already done the research on. Now we come to the truly sad part of it. Tragedy was like, oops. But be mindful, oil prices did crash. And yes, that would put strain on any government. It's like, oh, why you are wasting it? It's like, have you seen your fighter jet costs? But like, this is the stupid part that hurts me, basically. It's like, I don't think we actually want to solve global warming. Like, we as a humanity, as a collective intelligence, we do not want to solve it. We just want to bitch and moan for fun. Like, every single problem in global warming is solved as in, like, we have the tools to solve it. And I do not need to go to 2020. It's like, give me 2010's technology, I will solve every single issue. And every engineer knows this. Okay, 1996, we know this. So what's happening? And that's the part that scares me, is that science and engineering, that part is sorted. We have created the tools necessary to solve it already. It's like, it's a sorted thing. It's just that we are going round and round on techno magic, basically the Elon Musk virus. Whereas, like, this is Indian Railway. We have a lot of railway, of course we have. And we have giant stations, which have multiple platforms, giant shades, okay. Somebody came up with the wise idea. It's like, what if we put solar panel on there? Now it's a double use. Why? Because that land is already occupied. You're not going to do anything new there. And you already have a shade there. What if you put giant solar panels there? Okay, we did that. Now, optimistically speaking, if Indian Railway goes ham into this, meaning every station, every platform that has a shade, we cover that puppy with solars, we're gonna get around 25% of Indian Railways electrical consumption just from solar. Shut up, take money. That's how big that is. Now, this is an actual thing. This is something that can be done. But what people are doing is like, this is a problem solving solution. Like, you have a problem, energy consumption, solve it. Awesome. But people are like, what if we smoke weed and we put solar panel under the railway track? Same thing with like, have we covered every parking lot where we can put solar panel? Because the land is pre-occupied, pre-sold. Multi-use is always better than single use. Have we covered all the deserts? Have we covered everything that we can genuinely cover without any consequences? No. So why are you digging up road and putting solar panel in there? It's just, I do not know. It's that the techno virus that Elon Musk have created, where it's like, what if we put solar panel under the railway tracks? It's like entire humanity forgot that solar panels have silicon. Silicons are crystal structure, which are very brittle. And if you put them in this area where it vibrates a lot, it's gonna crack. So panel that will on this sort of places will last for 25 years. Here it will barely last for 5 years. And we are pouring money into it like there is no tomorrow. Like solar roadway burned through billions of dollars. This will burn through, again, I hope they shut down very quickly, but it will minimum burn for $4 to $5 million. It's just gonna burn through it. It's like, why? Like, what is that itch where it's like, it has to be technical mumbo jumbo. It cannot be just like, hey, we have a lot of surface area, let's cover it with solar panel and forget about it. We have a problem, solve it. No. It has to be some technical hululululu. Like Elon Musk, like, it's just like, what if we do this? It's like the last, if you have watched my last week's episode about the truck, Edison truck, that's why it's like, we have a solution. Why not use the solution that we have today rather than waiting for some magical bullshit that you're not going to deliver? Same thing. Here is like solar panels under the stuff. That itch I do not understand. Let's put solar panel under the sea. Hydrogen. Every engineer, every scientist knows this, that this cannot be done. Then why the heck Boeing is forcing it into itself? Again, Boeing is not. European Union is smoking and they're like, we're going to ban hydrocarbon. What else they can do? They can use ammonia, but that's, while it does have better density, it's toxic. So they have to use hydrogen, and yes, they have to use liquid hydrogen. And yes, that means if plane is on the runway for 1 or 2 hours of delay, yeah, there has to go back. Ask any rocket launch that has to deal with liquid hydrogen. That puppy is not good. And be mindful, this is Airbus A380. It has more than enough fuel spaces. So why the heck there is a tiny engine on the back? Because there is giant liquid hydrogen tanks on the back, 4 of them, and that's gonna power a tiny engine. That engine cannot even fly this plane. One of these engines can maintain safe flight on Airbus A380. 2 of them is needed to be comfortable. 3 is like 4 engine is like really good. 3 engine, all those 3 engines will be full throttle. It can be safe at 1 engine only. Safe as in like it's gonna do safe landing. That tiny engine is nothing. It's just like chump change. But it requires Airbus A380 for that experimentation. How do we experiment with biofuels? Nothing. There will be just a stamp on the engine, biofuel. Again, it's hydrocarbon is hydrocarbon. Methane made out of your ass is same methane took out of the ground. Hydrocarbon made out of basically past dead solar panel matters, solar materials, that is like lipids and all that, is the same that you are doing it. You are just doing it in temporal reality. So it's not creating carbon positive effects, it's creating carbon neutral effects, meaning it's not adding carbon dioxide. So this stupidity that solar putting under the stuff, hydrogen that does not work. And be mindful, Soviet Union and USA, both of them actually built planes that flew on liquid hydrogen. Outcome was, it will not give you the range, it will not give you the payload, it will not give you the speed. So if Boeing is actually forced into making an engine, forget flying. It will be so expensive, it will be like, me good. And then we have fuel crops. It's like, have you ever noticed why the heck fuel prices are not going down? As in like food prices are not going down? Like food should become cheaper, right? We are getting better tools, we are getting better agriculture, we should have better everything, but why the heck prices are not going down? We are burning it away. And we are incentivizing farmers for, hey, grow corn. I'm like, sir, what about growing bread? It's like, no, grow corn. I know bread is not a crop, I get the point. That's what hurts me. It's like, I don't think we actually want to solve global warming. We just want to bitch and moan about it. It's like, we know this. Like, I am not the only one. Humanity knows this. I'm not the only one. I can guarantee you, I'm finding 100 flaws. Engineers, if I ever talk to them, they're like, bitch. They will give me a PhD book on that. It's like, yeah, we know this. Heck, we were the, like, I think McDonnell Douglas was the company that built the original American variant. And Soviet Union, of course, that company disappeared. So I'm pretty sure Boeing has that history. And so this solar panel one is really, really tragic. It's like, what if we solve the problem? No, 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 no. What if we created Hululu, the techno magic virus that Elon Musk has created? It's like hydrogen truck that does not even work, and people burned $10 billion on it. So this is the tragic part. Was like, oops, I get it. Like, heck, even if I was the president at that time, I would have looked into it and I was like, hey, oil is cheap, man. It's like, why do you want to research? Because it's hard to sell freedom to someone in America. But I get it. Here it's like, what's happening? It's like, and again, America is the apple of the world, so everybody, oh, ethanol, let me do ethanol too. It's like you have to redesign your engine and it's gonna burn worse and it has less energy density. And so this is the part that has really made me sad. Like the more research I do, the more realization I have. It's like we do not actually want to solve the problem. Like we have sorted it. Like we sorted it, we got it, we know what's the problem, but we have not actually trying to solve it. So this was my presentation on basically the world that is addicted to oil. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst a friend. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.